Welcome to the director's commentary, the content creators commentary for the video filmed during the Melbourne Comedy Festival in the 11th of April. So it's now the just about the 18th of June, and this one had got a little bit away from me that I'd almost forgotten that I hadn't done a director's commentary for this video. And it's kind of helpful for me if you've not heard one of these before. There's a little timer in the right hand corner. The timer in the right hand corner, I picked up that tip off one of the tip video channels with the hundreds of thousands of subscribers and millions of views, and that was a tip that he recommended. I've used it a couple of times. I haven't really found that it changes views. This particular recommendation came that oh look, who cares? Who cares why it came? I tried it. It didn't change stats, didn't change subscribers. So rather than waste time talking about that, this particular video was filmed on a Saturday night. Yes, it's wet. Yes, it's raining. It wasn't. Oh, I suppose it was cold because I'm wearing a cap, a woolen hat. But this was the first. It was the third video I filmed with the new Sony ZV-1 vlog camera, and it was the first night shoot, really dedicated night shoot that I did, I really experimented. Like, I really prefer to experiment with the camera, learn to use it while I'm using it. So I had the camera was set to auto settings, and just to revisit quickly, David Williams. Oh, he's from Little Britain. I didn't realise. I actually didn't, because sometimes I'm filming and I never take notice of what's in front of me. I'm just concentrating on filming. So I was really keen to get out there and use this. I literally decided and was on the train within 15 minutes into the city that night. I was really glad I went, because at night, under lights, the rain, the sheen of cars and the road and trams, like, it comes up a treat, doesn't it? And the ZV-1 really captures this perfectly. Now, with regards to the filming technique, sorry, I'm having a cup of tea while I'm talking, and I haven't seen this video. I haven't watched it back easily since April, so I'm just getting familiar with this again. Now, with the filming technique, I don't use a gimbal, and the channel has always been a handheld shooting technique, which I've been using an Olympus handheld digital. It fits in the palm of my hand. I've been using that in that shooting style, not necessarily walking around with it, but I know what I'm doing. Like, I don't have to think about what I'm doing, is even a better way of saying it. But with the Sony, it's just that little bit bigger in the hand. It doesn't sit as easily in the hand. It's quite sensitive, even though I've got the stabilization feature turned on. It doesn't sit horizontally in the hand as well. And I must admit, mentally, I do take things a little bit more, especially early on, and this video is a prime example, that I wasn't putting a whole lot of effort into keeping it horizontal or still, because in my subconscious I was thinking, well, it's a better camera, it captures everything in front of it so much better. It's got better sound. I had to go back home. I'd forgotten the muffler for the microphone. Thank God I did go back and get it. And I love the sound, the way it picks up sound off this. But just to quickly explain before the camera leaves this foyer, this is actually the end of the shoot. I actually put this at the front because my shooting philosophy is, editing philosophy is, put the best footage at the front. So this was actually the last thing I filmed of the night. and I'd stopped filming and I went into the foyer. I had to go into the ticket office at the bar, and I asked permission if I could take the camera in, because some places and buildings and premises, they're actually very sensitive. I just thought I'd do the right thing just to make sure. So I asked the girl at the front there, and she said, no, go to the tickets office through to the bar, and I did that, and they were more than happy to let me film. I mean, it's the comedy festival, so they're going to be pretty relaxed, aren't they, really? And it's a great old theatre. That's the Athenaeum Theatre. Every year, every single year, they book out shows here. Now, this is also, I'm just realising, this is probably in the middle of Melbourne's COVID restrictions break, in that you can see everybody's walking around without masks. This was one of the first big arts, cultural events, any type of event that we'd had in Melbourne, with barely any restrictions. The QR code check-in, but looking back, I can now see that people were moving around, and fair enough. To be honest, people are moving around as if COVID's finished, as if COVID's not really a factor. We've got through the worst of it. Melbourne, up till that stage, had been in 3 really strict lockdowns. Well, guess what? 3 weeks ago, we went into our 4th lockdown, locked at home, stay within 5 kilometres of home, only allowed to go out for 5 reasons. So this thing isn't over, is it? Anyway, it was great to get out and about. It felt really nice to be out, seeing crowds again in the city. I love going into the city. That's the Regent Theatre there over the road in Western Melbourne. I'd actually asked the concierge at the Western Melbourne, asked him if I could start filming from his driveway and walk out to Collins Street, and he said no. He said, only if you've spoken to our marketing people, which wasn't the case. Anyway, so now this is the start of the video, where it's the Town Hall is the hub. There's the pop-up box office there. I was really excited about this because the nighttime shoot, the 4K camera equipment, you'll see in this video that I'm mucking around a lot, experimenting with the autofocus. It's got this fantastic feature where you press a button and it's called defocus, and it blurs out the background automatically. So you'll see in this video that I'm testing this out a lot, because this is virtually the first time that I had a chance to really give it a run, see what it can do. And the camera actually, the features of the camera, and I just have it set on autopilot. Like, the camera decides for itself as it's filming. It actually makes up its sets its own shutter speed and all that bizzo as we're going. Now there's a quick jump here around the city, because what I did was, this is the start of the shoot, and yes, I did film for 90 minutes, but in the edit I decided to quickly get into the guts of this video. So while I started at the box office outside the Town Hall, and I did go down to Flinders Bridge, I love that shot, next to the indicator of the tram, and what I decided to do, instead of having a very elongated long video about, how do we get to our jumping off point, I decided to do some quick jump cut edits. So, just the bits of how are we getting there, so that it's only I think this is about 90 seconds to 2 minutes long, this bit that I travelled up to. I decided to start filming at the top of the Parliament House steps there in front of us. Now, bear in mind, I'll just repeat again, I'm holding the camera in my hand. And what I didn't realise, that maybe I was walking too fast, is why it's not horizontal. Now,
so before I was rudely interrupted
I'm really good at picking out light. I deliberately stood there to use the lights off that were coming off the front of the building there. There's lights at the base of those columns, and also lights off the wall, and I knew that I would achieve this effect. When I saw the footage when I was editing it, my eyes, well, you see, I'm not going to take off the mask because it's just too much mucking around, and I don't want to break up the fluidity of the footage. But yeah, I'm concentrating so hard on thinking what to say, and this was the first time that I used the viewfinder. So I had the viewfinder, the camera pointing at me, and I had the viewfinder reversed so I could frame myself properly, because I really wanted to use this defocus feature. I really wanted to make the most of that feature. I'm usually, what I've historically done is that I do hold the camera up to myself, and I just know from years of practice with the Olympus, I know that I'm framing myself well. But with the Sony, I haven't yet, and it's 3.5 months now that I've had it, that I'm not really yet settled into a sure-footed shooting technique when it comes to filming myself. So again, we got the handheld aspect. I'm going to keep repeating this. Now, I also edited out the footage of me descending the steps, because the whole point of this video was walking around Melbourne, walking to several comedy venues, and the best way that I could signify that was by actually walking outside the venue, and they all had these sandwich boards which indicated they were a venue, and this was where you could see a show. It's quite common for many shows. It's not just in the city, but also in the suburbs. But many of the venues, all of them will have these sandwich boards outside on the street. And normally every year these shows are packed out everywhere, unless you're one of the startup acts, just finding your feet, and it's only just your girlfriend or your family and a dog coming to see you. And I have been to those shows, actually. Or maybe you might be sharing a venue with 3 or 4 other comedians, and you've got a half-hour set, and you share the costs of the venue amongst yourselves. And I've been to those as well. But you can see that I'm experimenting a lot with the focus feature. Now, I was sort of hiding behind the pole there, because I don't like filming kids. This was quite nice, this bloke just appearing in front of me with his guitar. I didn't stay on him too long, because it's not really fair to sort of ambush people and film them without their knowledge. Like, he had no idea that I was filming him, and it wasn't really fair, so I didn't stay on him for too long. And again, you can see, like, I'm trying to film sideways as I'm walking, and what I'm not really used to yet is the camera going off horizontal, and the frame is bouncing around so much. I'm a bit surprised, to be honest. I had the stabilisation feature on, but for some reason it's just it's a lot more unstable than what I thought it would be, and yeah, because I'm not used to the size of the camera in my hand yet. I just haven't got that filming technique worked out. And what I often do is, when I stop, I will raise the camera up to chest height and just film, capture it a bit better. So, as I said, I was really looking forward to shooting this video. I knew I'd get a lot of great footage, great sights, great colour. I tried to go for that indicator effect again. It didn't quite come off, and I nearly stumbled and broke my ankle there, actually. On the side, coming off the side of the tram stop, and then I felt a bit self-conscious that I was up against the tram, and the people could see me inside. They've been quite good, those people wearing their masks inside the tram. And then from here it was a case of walking down. We're in Bourke Street, the main drag in Melbourne. Our city, for those of you that don't know, we're set up on a grid. So we've got these main streets running east-west, and then others going north-south. And I was feeling fairly adventurous at this point in the filming, that I wanted to, isn't that a great effect, those headlights? And that's all because the camera adjusting itself as we're going, because I pointed it towards the ground, and I'm just experimenting, and it's interesting to see, you know, that effect coming out. Now again, it's going off 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 uh, off the horizontal, but I was feeling adventurous. I had big plans as I was going, that I was going to go. If we're looking straight down the street, I was going to go east-west, and then I was going to north-south and crisscross around. But on this particular night, I only had one battery for the camera. And what that means is that I can only shoot for 70 minutes non-stop. And when you use features like the backward viewfinder at yourself and use the zoom, that tends to use up more battery. Now Pellegrini's, I stopped there because it's an extremely famous cafe, eatery landmark in Melbourne. It's credited with being the first, one of the first ever Italian cafes in Melbourne when the European migrants started coming to Melbourne after World War II. And those two chaps, I just forget their name. Back in 2003, I actually interviewed those guys for an article I was writing about when Starbucks was hitting the scene, and I interviewed them about what they thought about Starbucks showing up and all this competition, and they loved it. They just said, well, coffee's coffee, and if more people are drinking coffee, eventually they're going to find their way to our place and find out what real coffee is. Melbourne's very famous for its coffee culture, and you know, the culture that we have. Our laneways are very famous. I've got another series. It's already going. It's the Laneway series. That's another video that I've actually got to edit, not only comment on. So just another pub in the city, another venue. So just stopping out there. So the whole idea of this was really just to stop. And the edit there was because there was a couple of kids walked in front of the camera. Is the reason why I did an edit there. And I'm just watching this and realising that I've stopped using transition edits. Actually, I'm trying really hard now to have as few cuts in my footage as possible. But this comedy one, you know, it's its own. It tells its own story, so it does have a lot of edits. It jumps around. The beginning and the end is quite different, as opposed to how it was filmed, and that's simply just. I just wanted to get into the best footage first, and the whole reason I was there was to walk around comedy venues. And so by about this stage, I was starting to relax into the shoot. I think I stopped and started filming there, actually, I wasn't happy with the shot that I captured. And I'm still I'm just experimenting the whole way, and there's another jump cut. I just wanted to capture the sights and the sounds. I love this thoroughfare. Gee, I've got wow! I didn't realise I had so many edits in this. I've jumped forward. I've jumped a long way forward. So I filmed all the way through from Bourke Street. We're now in Little Collins Street, but I decided to chop out, you know, walking through that area outside those corporate buildings, Australia Post. And again, I've cut out walking down that street because the video is all about the comedy venues and getting to the comedy venues. So I'm thinking of the viewer. Now, this is about the third or fourth time I've said this, but I was really looking forward to filming this video because in my decision-making process to get this new camera, the Sony ZV-1, I decided to get it because I wasn't seeing much change in my stats. My subscriber base has not grown; it's just inching painfully upwards, and the viewing stats are not, you know, they're nothing to write home about. They're still bouncing around anywhere between 4 views every 2 days and 30 views every 2 days, and it's usually under 20, between 10 and 20, and that's why I decided to get the Sony and lash out. I didn't need a camera, but I thought, well, maybe the footage just isn't good enough. Now you see the camera's tilting there again. That doesn't bother me, but clearly there's something about this footage that people do not like. And so if I jump forward to what I've learnt since I've been filming with the Sony, and I've been filming for 3 months, there's just no change to the stats. There's no noticeable improvement in viewing times. It's just this channel is just gonna be a really slow burn. And as I said, I'm walking around. The camera is in my hand. The Victoria Hotel is another venue for comedy acts. My plan was to actually go into the foyer, but once I saw these crowds coming out, now these crowds are coming out from the back of the Athenaeum Theatre on the other side of the building in Collins Street. So it's just you go in one side, you come out the other. And the really big names play in that theatre, and some of the smaller rooms within that building. And I hadn't really counted on this, so when I saw all these crowds, I decided to stop and prop, and I wouldn't have blamed that guy if he had turned around and told me to stop filming. I didn't realise I was focusing on him so much. So I didn't quite realise that there was people coming out this laneway, which you'll see in about 20 seconds. And I was going to go into the foyer there on the left. We've just passed it. But I was actually a bit nervous at the same time. Now, I'm walking around, as you know, I've got a mask on. You can see that nobody else has one on. There's no social distancing. There's no... now that I'm looking at this vision, and I'm looking at this footage, all these people so close together. Now, we're only 1 week out of our 4th lockdown as of today, and we've still got cases popping up. And now there's some in Sydney and New South Wales as well. And our government still has this Fortress Australia mentality, as opposed to let's get everyone vaccinated, quick, smart. And we've actually got our leaders in Canberra telling us the vaccination rollout isn't a race. My God, I'd better stop myself here because I can feel a rant coming on. But can you believe how close everyone is standing together? There's no social distancing. There's no masks. There's just everyone's moving around and congregating. And this crowd, it's just like a normal night out. And of course it should be too. But you look at the signs up here and you see. The QR codes to scan in. There's not really that many signs about COVID or keeping safe or keeping your distance, which, looking back, but Melbourne did get quite relaxed between after the Australian Open and up until about 6 weeks ago. The population of Melbourne got really, not slack, but I would say relaxed, because we've all done the right thing over the last 15 months. We've been through 3 lockdowns up until this night. We've now been through a 4th one. And I can tell you, people are spooked. I was out today doing shopping, and there's more compliance in the streets than I've seen for a long time. So getting back to this video and the stats, that I was so looking forward to publishing this video. You see the colours, you see the movement, you see the action. A lot of my videos up until, well, even this particular one, a lot of my videos are very, there's not many people in them, hardly any. So this was quite exciting for me, because it was also a bit nerve-wracking, because I had not filmed people like this, except for when I was walking around the MCG, but I just feel self-conscious with a camera, and I'm in the high-vis vest, of course, but to be fair, like, nobody's given me any stick. Like, nobody's come up to me and said, well, why are you filming me? I know I've only had that once. I had that outside one of the other comedy venue places that I haven't yet published. I was walking around outside the Palais Theatre, and I did have a security guard come up to me and say, what are you filming for? I've had people saying that they're not comfortable being filmed. And I was able to explain, well, I don't need a permit because I'm filming I'm filming in public in Melbourne, and the City of Melbourne has a policy that you don't need a permit if there's less than 5 people. And you wouldn't believe it, but this bloke turned round. He was literally shoulder to shoulder with me and the guard, but he was looking at the venue because we were outside on the street, you see. And he turned around and he just interrupted our conversation. He said to the guard, yeah, mate, that's right, actually, I'm a commercial photographer, and what he said is quite true. He doesn't need a permit, and he can film and photograph anyone he wants. And then he took off, and I couldn't believe it, because as soon as he turned around, my instant reaction to his body language was, oh no, this guy's going to gang up on me and they're going to tell me to stop. But it was the opposite. So it was nice to be supported for once. Now here you can see that I'm just experimenting with the defocus. I was having a lot of fun with this because I just love the way it blurs out the background. I would love to use this as a thumbnail. Now I've got another bone to pick. I don't know who I'm going to pick the bone with, but I'm just not having any success with thumbnails. I'm not sure that I've actually locked into what is a successful thumbnail for a walking video channel on YouTube. And so as an example, I thought that the title Walking Around Melbourne Comedy Festival, accompanied by a picture of a bloke, a tout, standing next to the pop-up box office on this particular night, I thought that would be a no-brainer as drawing in the audience, whether they're subscribers or not. And no, not the case. This video has had 10, I think it's only had 10 views since the middle of April when I published it. So I'm a little bit confused, to be honest. So as getting the Sony seems to have had actually a negative effect on my channel, that instead of drawing people to the channel, it's actually put them off, because I get a lot of new viewers. I get bugger all returning viewers. So I don't know. I've got 20 subscribers, and I'm asking those 20 people, why don't you come back and look at the new videos? And if you do come back, why don't you look at more than 10 to 30 seconds of a new video? I don't understand. Like, I don't understand why people don't want to watch if they like, especially if they like the channel enough to subscribe to it. So I guess what I'm saying is that all the techniques that I've used from my own strategies of what I think is, good creative marketing, good strategy, good marketing strategy, good just spilt my tea. It's not the case, and it's actually dented my confidence a bit in that. Yeah, I did. When I started off this channel, I put in a lot of research before and just after I started it. I put in a lot of research looking at a lot of walking video channels, and I'm just thinking, well, what is it that I've missed, and what is it that I'm not doing right? And I suppose the only thing I can think of in answer to that question is that maybe maybe the camera is too jolty. Maybe people definitely for sure do not want to hear my voice, do not want to see my head on the screen. Maybe there's too many titles, maybe there's not the right call to action. Like, I don't know. I just have not worked it out yet. I don't think I'm doing anything drastically wrong. but maybe it's the filming technique. Maybe, and I've thought this, and I've tried to do this since I filmed this video, maybe I should just be walking in a straight line down the street with the camera hardly moving. Is that what you all want to see? I actually don't know. Like I did a director's a creator commentary. The first commentary I did with the Sony, and the last commentary I did with the Olympus. I actually asked the audience in the comments section, the description section. I also asked you verbally in the commentary, and I haven't got any feedback at all from anyone. So I actually don't know. I don't know what my audience wants because my audience isn't communicating with me to any great extent. And the only other feedback I can possibly achieve from the audience is the stats. And I can tell you right now, I'm not a stats man. I'm not a data analyst. I hate numbers. I do not like working with numbers. So all the stats that YouTube provides and all the tools, like I just see them from a macro view, to be honest. I'm not into analysing figures and average watch times, and because I can't figure it out, because I get so many people jumping out of my videos anywhere between 1 second and 30 seconds or 40 seconds. Maybe people might watch 2 minutes. I know people jump through, that they just tap through the video. So from that, how can I possibly work out what people want to see? So I'm not sure. So what I've decided to do, I did get a bit. I've lost a bit of confidence since I got the Sony, because I thought the 4K footage. I thought, well, that's what people want. People want to watch a video that has exceptional quality about it, 4K footage, and it's not the case. It seems to have put people off. Whereas with the Olympus, people, from what I could work out, my perception was that people didn't mind the Olympus as a camera. So I've gone through a bit of soul searching. I see in this video, I was really trying. Like I've been trying. One of the things I've been trying to do is really tweak and perfect. What sort of introduction should I have? And the introduction is now sorted out, where I'll be using it for a while. It's just 40 seconds of 2-second clips, 8 seconds of call to action, and then straight into the video. And what I've been doing is keeping my head and my voice out of the video until right at the end, because I know for a fact people aren't watching the whole video. And it doesn't matter to me how long it is. Maybe it matters to you, the audience, but to me, like, they can be a half an hour, they can be 10 minutes, they can be 2 hours. I've got a 3-hour video published, but I've decided to keep my head and my voice out of the picture, out of the audience mind and their eyes. Keep it till the end of the video, because people, if you're a regular watcher, and there's only about 3 or 4 of you, you'll know that eventually I will pop up in the video describing what it is. And I've decided, rather than try and mimic and imitate and impersonate and copy shot for shot, style for style, other walking videos, I've decided to keep growing the personality of this channel, because it's my personality as well. So I've decided to stick to my guns. I've decided that this channel will be a slow burn. I've decided, I know for sure, I've always known for sure, nothing's changed. I like making these videos. I like filming my hometown. There's more to these videos in terms of audience than YouTube. I've since for the last 8 weeks I've been corresponding by email and had a couple of Skype meetings with online content marketplace platforms in Singapore and Malaysia. I was approached by another platform based in Florida, but I can't yet start sending them content because you actually have to pay. It's a fee-based account service business model. So there's more to this than YouTube, and that's very much in my wheelhouse. Now the other thing is that, although these platforms do attract buyers, again, um, are they going to buy this content? I don't know, but I do know that I've got one thing that other walking video channels don't have, and I've got these industry contacts, and I've got a background in the creative industries. I've got a background in marketing. I've got a head for strategy, and I can churn out these videos reasonably quickly. Although these videos do take a long time to render and publish themselves to my hard drive, which I'm just beginning to get on top of. It's been quite a big change for me in terms of filming style, filming technique, editing technique. Still working out the intros. Here we are on Flinders Bridge. This is some bonus content. There was a big football match at the Melbourne Cricket Ground that night, so the lights were on in the distance. If the camera pans back round to further to the right, there we go. That's the Melbourne Cricket Ground, the MCG, and that night it was Collingwood and somebody else. It wasn't Essendon because it was the 11th of April. And this is the dead centre of Melbourne. It's the Yarra River. That's a great view, a night view, and this camera picks it up so well. So we're getting into the last 5 minutes of this video. Now I was filming for an hour, but you can see that it's only 40 minutes. I've chopped out a lot of footage, and the whole reason was, what was the point of the video? Walking around comedy festival venues, not walking. Not taking so long to walk there. That's looking at Federation Square, and you can just see like everything. There's just so much shine and sheen coming off the paint that the camera catches and picks up, and maybe actually enhances, as opposed to looking at it with the naked eye. You'd probably look at that and go, well, that's not really that shiny to the naked eye. So that's Flinders Street Station. So I guess this video is a little time capsule for me, a little mini time capsule to be able to look at it 3 months after the fact. It's just such great footage to me. It's just, you can see the shine off the side of the cars there. That's the Arts Centre. We're back outside the Town Hall. The pop-up box office is to the right, and you can see outside the venue there is a lot of COVID safe practices and protocols going on. And we were, as a society, like, we were so thrilled to have the comedy festival on. The Australian Open was delayed 2 to 3 weeks. It was quite muted. Personally, I got quite sick of Djokovic running, ranting and raving that things were too tough and things were too hard, and oh God, shut up. Really, it was, some of these elite sports people don't know how lucky they are to be doing what they're doing, and for this guy to be whinging about 2 weeks quarantine that he had to fit in and do what we were all doing, and then to be complaining from his hotel balcony and having a whinge in the papers and on the TV. Now that girl was clearly aware that I was filming that direction, and she kept turning around. I thought she was going to complain. And so this is very unusual. Like, this was all filmed in order, but in the editing I've chopped it all up to just give a sense of what's going on outside and the different sites, and try to capture the lights in all sorts of different angles and close-ups and wide shots. Now, and then the one thing that I was keen to get was walking through the arches here, and what I did was I actually went and asked permission again the Indian girl that was on security. She did not understand a word of English that I was saying to her. She didn't understand anything. I was just trying to say, look, I'm just going to stand here. Can I film for 2 minutes? She had no idea what I was saying. Anyway, so nobody said no, and I went through. But as you can see, like, it didn't... But one of the reasons that I filmed in that way was because I was just so nervous as well. Now, you know what I was saying before about... you know, not many COVID safe practices. So here is the event doing the right thing, but you can see that people were only really, you know, fitting in, and it started raining by then, and I was ready to finish. Now I have filmed the world's longest lunch with the Olympus, and I can see that we're coming up to the last 90 seconds or so. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. I'm the bloke who walks. You've been listening to me bang on about the comedy festival in Melbourne. That's my thumbnail. It hasn't been working. Maybe I should use that as a thumbnail. Those kids, they got their back to us. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. And please, if you're gonna tap on one of my videos, could you just watch a little bit longer than 5 seconds? If you could maybe just leave your browser tab open and just let the video run silent and help me build up the stats. I'm out of here. Bye for now.